go, go!
And as we have concluded our setup for tonight's event, here we have it. We're at Chicagoland with the IORA Formula One Series for, I believe, the 8th race of the season. And it is onboard night. We'll explain what that means when we have our driver, Ethan Stanley, as mentioned in the description, in the car. And tonight's going to be a fun one. I have to say, we're going to be loading the points on your screen as less than 8 minutes remaining. Just about a lap or so's distance. We got the point standings coming up on your screen at the moment. Now leading our points coming into tonight's event, it's Alex Anderson, who is not here, but the highest driver in points who is here is David Joyner, leading by 8 points over Ethan Stanley, then Scott Ledbetter, who's also in this session. Then it's going to be James Thurston, Alexander Balderas, Landon Gentry, Michael Cormenis, Demos, Chase Schaefer, Jared Rodriguez, Garrett Mitchell, Timothy J. Moore, Jackson Carr. Into the tie for 15th place, it's Colby Kersey and Braden Movick, both with 69 points as our onboard driver is in the car. And we're going to explain what that onboard driver means. Well, for tonight's event, we're trying something different, and it's called Onboard Night, as it's been said in the title. We have the driver of the number 91, who's second on the timing charts, Ethan Stanley, as our broadcaster of sorts, having his camera as the focus for tonight's event throughout the race, throughout the qualifying. Throughout all of these sessions, we're going to have Ethan Stanley working with us to provide an experience unlike anything we've seen on this channel beforehand. The wheel work, the inputs, the speed, and all the information he would see as a driver in this series. It's all going to be brought to you live without any delay. And we got the tickers as well, just to show the information for people who are not sitting alongside us in the number 91 car. We'll be watching as Ethan Stanley goes for yet another quick lap, running the high line before his fast lap begins. Let's watch the magic right now. Dives to the inside, sort of like an Indycar at these tracks in the earlier 2000s, comes back up and now going to use bank turn effectively, losing time on his fastest lap, but still quicker through the backstretch as he uses a further outside portion. Not getting much done there though. And going through the turns again, little resistance on the wheel, that's the name of the game. And slipping back out, and then back into the apron, and that's going to be a lap completed. That was a 27.736. David Joyner still leads the charts by 0.05 of a second. Chat, if you're with us tonight, be sure to leave any form of feedback. It's all greatly appreciated. We love to see what you have to say. 2 viewers concurrently. I know the stream has just started, and things are just ramping up. Hope to see you more as the race goes on. Ethan Stanley going for another quick lap here. Let's see what he can do. Using the apron this time, you can see that not losing a lot on his fastest lap. Very close there on 7th gear, then to 8th, losing a little bit of time through the straightaway. Still a very quick lap in motion. Let's see if he can get it done this time by using all of that track limit, just hugging the grass there. No contact, no damage, and that's going to be a 27.71. Not the quickest lap, as he's only behind it by 0.05 of a second, and Demos in 3rd, behind it by almost a 10th. There's only a few other drivers in this session. That's going to include James Thurston, Ethan Yon, as well as Scott Ledbetter. Not a lot of the drivers here tonight. It looks like 8 at the moment, as Ethan Stanley catching up to Ethan Yon. 72 and 91 going to get very close to one another. Of course, 4 minutes of practice before the qualifying session begins. It's going to be a fun one to watch. I think you're all going to enjoy it thoroughly. Trying to catch up to the draft of the 72 machine. Not going to happen yet. Getting closer and closer each time by. Trying to use the apron to his advantage. Might be able to go for a whole apron lap. Not going to happen this time by. Going to be waiting for another lap to try to get back to the 72's bumper. About a 10.5 off at this stage of the track. Each lap by got to be perfect on that apron to get the fastest lap completed. That is the name of the game for all of these drivers. Not sure if they're going to run the race like that, but they're certainly running practice like this. Stanley getting closer and closer, 1.7 off the tail of that 72 machine. Still a lot to go to catch up, but the effort is being made already. Getting closer and closer each time by, but only just, as this is going to be a 27.89, a tenth or so closer this time by. Looks like he's gaining just more and more as Ethan Stanley's gonna have a little bobble with that inside. And you can see the sun is shining on all of these cars. Sunset conditions for tonight's event. And I think it's going to set the stage for some really interesting racing. And Ethan Stanley going to downshift it all the way. Parking it right now. We're going to be seeing the replay from the roll bar as the TV cameras are showing the laps as well. Sparks flying from this machine. Once again, I'm not controlling the cameras for tonight's event, an experimental process involving our drivers. We've got the ticker up for all to see. I hope you all enjoy it because I think it's going to be a good one. Ethan Jan taking the cones, flying through the drivers, and you see David Joyner on his A game right now, fastest in the charts. 3 concurrent viewers watching David Joyner do it as fast as he can on the soft compound. As you can see, going very wide on that straightaway, getting up to the branch wall, then arcing it back in. That's been the fastest way to do it on this oval, not using the apron, of course. That's the strategy so far going into the roll bar for pit lane, a pit lane test. Not sure if we're going to be seeing green flag pit cycles, but that remains to be seen as the number 28 brings it in. Now we're looking at Demos on the hard compound, trying something different. Let's see if it works. He's third on the charts right now. Let's take a silent lap and follow along with the number 87. Got Bakluin in chat saying hello, welcome to the broadcast. 4 concurrent viewers and 1 like. Appreciate the support. As Joyner now we're focusing on. Gets a little bit of scrape up right there, but not going to affect him overall. And you can hear the way the car is scraping right now. That number 28 is all the way on the floor. Less than a minute of practice, and then we're going to be going to qualifying, and that's when the fun begins, I gotta say. And it looks like he's going to go for an apron lap next time by. Not sure if he's going to even be able to complete the lap. 5 concurrent viewers as we're getting close to the start of the qualifying session. And at this time, it is over. The session is going to expire. Our practice has ended, and the drivers are ready for 2 hot laps that are going to set the grid for this event. It is qualifying time, and we're going to see how these drivers stack up compared to the rest. Let's see who's the best in a single flyer lap. It's go time from Chicagoland Speedway. And we're going to qualifying right about now. Ethan Stanley hopping in the car. We're going to be watching on board with him throughout the sessions. Number 91 car, fastest driver, perhaps. He's gotten a lot of wins in the series so far, and he is third in the standings coming into tonight's event. He's got a shot to overtake the throne of the title battle. Let's see if he's able to do it. First time lapped off for the number 91 machine. Only 2 in this 5-minute qualifying session. It's over. Like that. Oh! Hard hit for Ethan Stanley on the hard compounds. It does not look like that is going to work. Wow. Changing compounds right now to the soft tires. Let's see if that gives enough grip, enough control of the machine for one flying lap for the number 91 machine. Warming up the tires right now is David Joyner, then Jan first and second by 7/10 of a second. Quite the margin at the moment as James Thurston is going to close the gap by just about a 1/10 and a half. Now it's Aiden Walker in third. He is only behind by 3/10 of a second. He's one of the drivers who showed up very late to this session. And let's see what Ethan Stanley can do. One last lap of qualifying. The 91's got to do it now. Or do it never. Scott Ledbetter third. 1.18 off the time of the pole sitter David Joyner, who's probably had his 2 laps by now. And Ethan Stanley is now on it on the apron, trying to make it work. Demotes now only 500ths behind the pole day time. 1 lap for Ethan Stanley. He's got to make good use of it. Coming across the final turn, the number 91 is going to make it work. Is he going to get to the pole? And that is 5th. Wow. And that's how it went. Only 1 lap to really get it done, and 5th position in qualifying at the moment. And we're going to be requesting an interview with Ethan Stanley at the moment. He's in our voice chat. Ethan Stanley. Well, we got connection now. Ethan Stanley, walk us through that qualifying lap.
I mean, I tried too hard with the first lap. The tires weren't up to speed. They weren't up to temperature, and ended up just spinning. In the second lap, I don't think I got enough momentum going. So unfortunate there.
Right about that. Well, you think that will affect your chances at winning this race at all?
Not really. I mean, this is such a small field. I don't think qualifying really matters. It's an oval. It's an F1 cars, so you never know.
Right about that. Well, 70 laps to do it for Ethan Stanley, qualifying 5th right now. We're going to be bringing in our pole sitter. David Joyner just got the pole. How you feeling?
Pretty good. Getting that little extra point there. So, feeling pretty good. We're heading up right now. Let's see what we can do. 70 laps.
Right about that. What do you think the move is for strategy right now? Going to push it early or just bide your time, wait for a caution?
Either or. There's only 7 people in here, so we'll just got to wait and see.
Right about that. Well, the race is about to start. 1 lap of pacing. David Joyner, hope to see you back here at the end of the race.
Hope so too, man. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for your time. And our final interview, we're going to wrap it out with Demo second in qualifying. How you feeling?
Small field. Taking a kneel on the start. We're going to play it safe. I think with the low count of drivers, it's going to be a pretty clean race. I want to keep my car clean.
Right about that. Well, 70 laps to do it. You're going to bide your time at first, or you're just going to be on the attack. We know you took the EOL just now, but you still might be able to drive right back to the front if you so choose.
I think it will be hard, but I think this could be a race of attrition, but I also think it could be clean, so my idea, it's going to go either 2 ways, so.
Well, I understand it's an oval race with these Formula One cars. You think it's going to be easy to pass, hard to pass? Not really sure. We've only done 2 of these races so far in the season. think it's going to be any different from the last two?
Judging off what I've seen, I think it's going to be relatively hard to crash. Or relatively hard to pass, not crash.
Relatively hard to crash, we hope so, as well as relatively hard to pass. Demo second. First on the outside road, though. Outside pole sitter, thank you for your time. And as you saw on your screen, Demos just took the EOL, so that's really going to make Scott Ledbetter the outside pole sitter. And followed by Michael Cormetis, Aiden Walker, Demos, and Ethan Yon. It's an 8-car field. We're only going to be seeing the top 3 to make sure that Ethan Stanley's rear view mirror, so you can see his full perspective. It's not blocked. We're going to see what this number 91 machine can do. Before our race begins, if you do enjoy the content, be sure to like and subscribe. 2 likes on the stream so far. Not a lot of viewers at the moment, but we know the race is just going to heat up, so we hope you enjoy the stream and show your support in chat. We always appreciate what you have to say. And it is about time for the race to begin. The pace truck is going to pull off the iRacing sponsored pace truck. And for 70 laps of racing, we are green from Chicagoland in Joliet, Illinois. How about that? And Ethan Stanley not rocketing like David Joyner, but that's still going to put him up in second. Side by side right now with Michael Cormetis. Looks like Cormetis might be able to get the better, as it looks like they're going to go 3 wide. Ledbetter right on the side, not able to see that closely. Looks like now there's going to be some fall off. It's going to be Stanley chasing Joyner for the lead. The pack is building up right behind him. We got a little bit of contact back there. 3 wide in the back of the field. Cormetis to the outside of the 91. Is something going to happen? Maybe no. Scott Ledbetter now to the outside, side by side. Cormetis in the 4 right on the nose of that second place car. And David Joyner riding away by half a second over the remainder of the pack. This is exactly what David Joyner wants to see, side-by-side chaos behind him. And right now he's walking away from the remainder of these leaders. Bumper-to-bumper action. It looks like Ethan Stanley going to be taking 3 wide right now. Cormetis on the charge. Let's see what he can do, as now he's going for second. 3 wide city, and we got an incident. Locking it down, Ethan Stanley's going to do that. Oh, a little bit of contact. And James Thurston involved as well. Car's done. Not good for the driver. The 91 looks like that's going to be terminal damage. Just needs to get to pit road now. Maybe it's going to happen. Lap 4 of 70 right now. The leader is coming around. Discussion taking place in race control. We'll see what they're saying shortly. Wow. Not good stuff at the moment. The number 91 who's going to be pushed to pit road, trying to get there ever so desperately, as these drivers have at least one faster pair in every IRA race. Almost there now. Ethan Stanley skating at this point. It looks like he's going to just make it to pit road. Or is he? No.
You entered a closed pit. Go back to the tail.
That was a
And it's chaos right now on pit road as the 91 is trying to get back into this race. Going to be pushed again. Chaos going on at the start of this event. Lap 5 of 70 as on your screen. With only 65 laps remaining following this little incident. 91 going to be pushed. And there he is, Ethan Stanley in right now. Going to take the fast repair. And going to try to get his lap back. I think they're going to give him some extended time to do so. Once again, to all our viewers, this is onboard night provided by Ethan Stanley. So we're going to have a lot of access to how the driver sees this race. And it's going to be great to see as the insight is direct with no translation. Scott Levitter leading over Michael Cormetis and James Thurston at the moment. And slowly getting around these leaders, trying to get his lap back. Ethan Stanley following an incident, I believe, with Michael Cormetis, is trying to get back into this lead hunt. We're going to be asking the question right now. Following that incident, Ethan Stanley, what caused it, and you think you still got a shot at the win?
I'm clipping somebody. Don't know who, but I mean, it's not really costing me a win. It's just getting rid of one of my chances at recovering if I do crash out again. But we'll see. I'm catching back up to the field now. I'm on the lead lap. Hopefully it should end up okay.
Right about that. Well, after the incident, you think you're going to stay in the back of the field?
I'll be careful. I don't think I'll stay in the back of the field, though.
Right about that small field, as said beforehand. So either way, you still got a shot at the victory. Just hope you don't wreck again, right?
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully.
Yeah, you're right about that. Ethan Stanley, thank you for your time as we're going green. Apparently this time, according to the information, we got the black flags being cleared as the green flag is out. First restart of the night for Chicagoland Speedway. For concurrent viewers, we thank you for the support, as it is Wednesday night full of action in the Formula One Series of IRA. And the sun continues to glare on this racetrack, the mile and a half in Joliet, Illinois, and the racing is getting more and more intense up front. Look at that, all the way to the apron goes, I believe, James Thurston in the back in black machine, black and pink. And all these drivers getting closer and closer to one another. Scott Ledbetter in 8th right now. Looks like he might be out for the remainder of the night. He's done that a few times before, as he is still up there in the points battle. Lot of side-by-side action up here, almost 4 wide with all these leaders. And it looks like right now it's going to be Demos who backs right out of it. Going to play it safe and falling behind Ethan Stanley desperately. Not sure if he was even going to be able to get back to the draft. Falling back more and more. I think it's over for Demos. Give or take a caution as Stanley ripping the high line right now. And all these cars are skidding on the surface. Right now, you can see it as clear as ever. And these drivers have to work with the conditions around them as much as they can. Oh, big checkup on the inside line. And that's going to almost create a contact between Ethan Stanley and James Thurston, but only just avoided. And all the drivers are going double file. Now, 3 by 3, almost David Joyner is going to take the lead from Michael Cormetis, just in front of the top 5. And it looks like it's going to be another 3 wide moment for the lead. It looks like David Joyner over Michael Cormetis by far. James Thurston following back the most. And Ethan Stanley is watching the battles from afar. That's going to be Ethan Yon trying to make the move right now in that yellow machine. Or correction, it's going to be Aiden Walker and Ethan Yon. And they are both getting up to the front right now. Cormetis shuffling back. Ethan Stanley now making himself part of the mix. And James Thurston to the outside. David Joyner puts a block on the Stanco machine. As all these drivers are getting bunched and bunched. Michael Cormetis to the back bumper with Ethan Stanley. Remember what happened last time? I think there was an incident between them two. Ethan Stanley didn't seem to see it that way, but that's how I saw it. Aiden Walker over Ethan Yon and David Joyner. Now up to second is David Joyner and Ethan Stanley trying to pull away from the field of Stanco Quantum Machines. Trying to make something work over the remainder of the field, and it looks like they're bumper to bumper now. And it looks like once again they're going to be able to pull away. 6 concurrent views if you do support the content here. Always appreciated to have a like, subscription, any piece of support, always worth your while. And of course, you can take it back at any time. But either way, we appreciate every single bit of support you give to the channel. And now Stanley is just locking with the 28 car, who's leading the way by far. Cormet's trying to throw it to the outside, but with no real support. Looks like Stanley might be locked in for second position. Whoa! Big contact there, and Cormetis got right into the back of that 91. Been playing it very aggressive as of recent, and I think he's going to continue that all the way. 6 concurrent viewers watching as the action gets more and more heated. Lap 15 of 7. And Stanley pulling to the outside right now. James Thurston going to split the middle, I believe. And Stanley might be falling back for his own safety. Two by 2. Oh, is that 4 wide for the lead? Maybe not. Well, Michael Cormet trying to send it 3 as Aiden Walker back up in the battle for this lead. All of these 7 drivers are fighting ever so close as Scott Ledbetter looks to be out of it. A little bit of wiggling there. Aiden Walker, Michael Cormetis. Gotta watch your steps, y'all. This is gonna get even closer. 3 wide right now. And almost 4 wide. Right behind James Thurston. A little bit of a check there by Aiden Walker in that yellow machine. And Ethan Yon looks like he's on the podium according to the last lap standings. 18 of 70. And this race is ticking by quick. 6 concurrent viewers. The action continues to heat up in Chicago. Look at that. All this swerving by the lead pack. They're going every which way. And the passing is intense, and it is consistently bringing us all to the edge of our seats, I would hope. Because this view is a front row seat of all the lead battle. And now going to swoop to the inside on James Thurston, the black and pink machine. Not sponsored, as all these machines are not due to a contractual agreement with iRacing and Mercedes. An unfortunate situation for the painters of the community, but these machines are still distinct from one another. Ethan Stanley backing up his run as these top 4 are moving away. Tearing off his visor, 8 concurrent viewers and 3 likes. We love to see the support on this channel as Ethan Stanley trying to make it an action-packed event for all the drivers to watch after the race and all the viewers to watch right now. 3 likes on the stream. Of course, the support is always appreciated on onboard night, the first running of the onboard night. Hopefully, it's going to become some sort of a tradition as the IORA Formula One Series is bringing the action as best as it can. Lap 21 to 70, less than 50 to go. All the drivers on the apron right now, leaving Aiden Walker to absolutely hang himself out as James Thurston and Demos all the way back there, not going to be able to get back to the lead pack's run. And Ethan Stanley going to chop his way up to the podium positions. And side by side for Lee Cormetis, barely going to get there over David Joyner. How about that? That was incredibly close. It actually looks like Joyner had gotten it at the end. Very, very close between these top 4. Because right now it's going to be Aiden Walker right behind Ethan Stanley and Ethan Yon, who just made the move to get into 3rd position. Emo's trying to rope his way back into the action. He's all the way back there, just about half second. But the draft is not all too strong unless you're like within a 10th or so. David Joyner, Michael Cormetis top 2 now. Ethan Yon to second as David Joyner's going to fall off. And right now, Aiden Walker and James Thurston joining the fight. No room to wiggle for the 91 car. As all these drivers are going to the apron, almost to the grass. They're swerving about, trying to get any advantage over their competitors. It's Cormenis, then Jan, then Joyner, then Stanley, then Walker, then Thurston, then Mosteller. Last lap by. And the action between these top 7 is oh so close. And it's only going to get closer. 25 out of 70. And look at that, all the skirt on that number 28 machine. Pavement to the floor. And these guys are getting closer and closer for the lead. Ethan Stanley trying to join the battle, almost 3 wide. I think some perspectives of this race would fool you into believing that was a 3 wide shot. Now Aiden Walker going to the inside of the 91. Cormet is going to the outside of the 28. It's getting closer and closer between all of these drivers. And wow, right there, you can see the sparks flying onto all of these other drivers. They can feel it from first to last. And these drivers are just spanned out by a 10th or 2 at the very most. It's going to be Cormetis, then Jan, then Mosteller. Last lap by. And look at that, Aiden Walker switching the outside line. No help on the inside. But the inside line has the advantage in getting to the apron. And it just becomes practically a slipstream of its own without even needing to have a driver with you. And look at that, it's going to be Cormetis far and away over Demos. And now it looks like it's going to be Ethan Jan up to second in his first race in the IORA Formula One Series. He's doing a very good job. And a little bit of wiggling between those top 2 drivers. It's going to be Cormetis, then Jan, then Stanley. And those top 3 are leading the way by a pretty good margin over the guys in the absolute back of the pack. At the end of the day, everyone still has a shot, just got to work with one another. As Demo's going to hold his own on the inside line, as well as Stanley. Maybe going to make something happen on the outside if these 2 decide to go back again to the apron. And Stanley the only one not to be all the way out. Demo's going to make it almost 3 wide for the lead right now. It's going to be Stanley, as well as Demos and Cormetis, and Ethan Jan also in the mix. And Joyner right now to the back bumper of the 91. They got to work together here to make something happen on the far outside line. Got to rip the top. Maybe get a good run out of it at the end of the day, as Cormetis is intense on Ethan Jan's back bumper. Clear all around the spotter for Ethan Stanley, says 31 of 70. And the laps are ticking down. But the drivers are getting more and more impatient. Look at that wiggle for Ethan Jan. He saves that machine off the bumper of Demos. That was an intense move right there. That's going to leave Cormetis and Thurston battling for the lead. Almost uninterrupted, but look at that. The 91 is there. And the remainder of the field are as well. And now it's going to be Stanley pushing the number 4 machine to the lead. Or rather, to a very clear lead. As Stanley to second, followed by David Joyner and Aiden Walker just behind him. And following the number 4 seems to be like the strategy to beat Thurston. Now on the bumper of the 91, and Cormetis is just leading the way for all of these drivers, and nobody's able to contest. Side by side for second, almost first, 3 wide for the lead. In fact, I think Ethan Stanley might be able to go all the way to the back of the field if he so chooses from the high line. Not the advantageous one. Whoa! And looks like all the drivers are still all right. That was Demos. And he's still on the track, but 3 seconds back. Not good. Is that damage for Stanley? Not sure, as Demos is fading back more and more. And now Stanley fading to the back of the pack, maybe trying to save his stuff, not get too aggressive, as he just did with Demos. No caution out, 35 of 70, the halfway point in this race. And now Joyner going to the far outside. Demos and Stanley appearing to have a discussion in voice chat right now. It's going to be 6 drivers fighting for the lead at the moment. Stanley not to the apron right now, not giving himself the advantage of speed there, but rather slipstreaming off of David Joyner, trying to get something out of that 28 car. It appears, unfortunately, a train is forming for all of these drivers. And as that happens, it's just not going to look good for someone like Ethan Stanley, who's about a 0.3 of a second gap back. He's got to be absolutely perfect lap over lap to get back into this. Big wiggle there for Aiden Walker, not going to jeopardize him, not going to put him into the wall or anything, but that was a very big one. And it's surprising he was able to keep it straight, and that's going to keep him in contention for the lead. Ethan Stanley passing for 5th right now. Aiden Walker to the inside. And as soon as he passed Joyner, it looks like Ethan Stanley turned the jets on to that car. As in the distance, nothing but open track for all of these drivers. Perhaps a blip of Demos just ahead. Ethan Yawn in his debut leading over Michael Cormetis and Aiden Walker. That time by side, these red machines are. Who's going to get at the line? It looks like it might be Ethan Yawn. Is it going to be? And it looks like it was. Ethan Yawn over Michael Cormetis, but only just that time by. Ethan Stanley back in 3rd following a 2nd incident on the night. And 3 wide right now for 2nd position. Michael Cormetis has been dominating this thing from the 20-lap marker. And it looks like it's going to be Aiden Walker going for it on the far inside. Is something going to happen there? It looks like it is. And they're about 3 wide for the lead coming out of this section of the track. Halfway through to the back straightaway. Quick glance for the 91, making sure that the drivers are still 3 wide. And the far outside with no help is not the place to be for any driver, let alone one with nobody behind. As Demos is currently in front of the leaders, is he going to pull off? I'm not sure. He's swerving around as the pack is coming up on him. Not sure what's going on here. Is there going to be an incident? Perhaps. Ethan Stanley backing off. And Aiden Walker going to have a little bit of a wiggle there as well. Ethan Stanley going to the low side as Demos is going to avoid the leaders on the high side. A lot of movement from that 93 car. He's going just about everywhere trying to find any sense of speed. Look at that, bolting to the outside immediately as he could, as Demos being lapped once more. In 43 of 70, it is crunch time for all these drivers, closer and closer to the end of this event. You got to be there at the end to win it. And Cormetis has been there from about the halfway point. Is he going to be out there at the end? It's not a guarantee, but I'm thinking he might be able to. And the top 3 are ever so close. Not necessarily a train because they're wiggling about on one another. You don't see trains doing that on the tracks. Side by side for the lead, Aiden Walker on the farther outside, but not all the way out, as Michael Cormetis is going to get it once more. Ethan Stanley back up into the podium positions. And a big run for the 91 on the 93 and the 4. Side by side for the lead between the top 2, and Michael Cormetis still has it at the end of the day. sparks flying continuously on all of these machines. Side-by-side action is very close throughout this whole pack. Whoa! Aiden Walker around, and that is a hard hit for the 91, who got the worst of it. Oh no. Nothing any of those drivers could have done. Aiden Walker simply got on the grass and overcorrected back onto the track. Lap 47 of 70, and chaos has struck. Second caution of the night. Wow. Is it over for the 91? It might just be. Gotta get back for the final of 2 fast repairs. As far as I've been informed, and only 3 tires working for him and 1 working against that 91 machine. Pit road open for the leaders. Cormetis, then Joyner, then Thurston leading the way. And barely gonna make it into pit road, facing the wheels straight. He's gonna get there. And we've got some pit road action. None remaining, actually. That's the final fast repair. And I think that might actually be the end of the 91's race. We will see coming to the pit stop, and this might be the end. It's over for the number 91 machine. And our first retirement of the race caused by an on-track incident. Looks like it's done for the day, Ethan Stanley. Anything you could have done to avoid it?
I mean, there was nothing really I could do there to avoid that accident. It happened just in front of my eyes. Kind of upset that there's no more fast repairs, but it is what it is.
Right about that. And 93 just getting into the grass there and then hitting you. Looks like you were the only driver affected, unfortunately, as 20 laps remain.
Yeah, I'll keep the cameras as good as I can, and we'll see how this race ends.
Right about that, just about 20 laps to go, as we're going to get to the 50 lap marker very shortly.
Let me just do that real quick. Okay.
For all of the viewers, we thank the support of Ethan Stanley bringing this presentation to us for tonight. It's an experimental broadcast. We'll see where it goes from there as the drivers cross the stripe. It's lap 50 of 70. 20 laps remain. Focusing on the leaders right now, Michael Cormetis and Ethan Yan, the red cars, have been stealing the show so far. As behind them, it's James Thurston, then David Joyner, then Aiden Walker, following that incident, I believe, using his first of the only remaining fast repairs. 8 drivers in this race. It's going to be Cormetis, then Yan, then Thurston, then Joyner, Walker, and then Stanley, Demos, and Ledbetter, and that is the remaining portion of the race. 6 cars lining back up to the 87 of Demos, waiting to do battle double file right now. I believe this is the 1 lap to go marker before we go racing again for the second restart of the night. Ledbetter 44 laps down, and Stanley at the moment 2. And the pace truck is going to be ready to pull off into the virtual Chicagoland Speedway hit road. This time by a very wide turn to make. Almost hits the cones there as we're going green flag racing. Second restart of the night from Chicagoland, and Cormetis leads the way. And the drivers are flying through these first few turns. Side-by-side action. Only 6 cars remaining now. And Demos might have to lay it back following the incident beforehand. Cormetis and 3 wide for second with, it's going to be both Thurston, Joyner. On the inside, outside, and middle was Ethan Yan. Now all the way to the apron, those leaders go, trying to make something happen. There are 5 concurrent viewers. We thank you for the support. If you enjoy the content, like and subscribe. It's always greatly appreciated on this channel. As the train is not formed yet, these drivers are going side by side, doing anything they can to win the race.
My bad on the camera work. Wasn't prepared for this, but I'll do what I can.
Worried about that. We were hoping for a full view of the onboard the whole race, but that is not what happened, unfortunately. We'll see where it goes from there. Michael Cormetis leading James Thurston, Ethan Yon, first, second, third. The battle rages on in the back.
Yeah, I think at this point in the race, they're going to stay single file until about 10 to go. I was really up there preserving my ERS. I don't know if others are doing the same. I wouldn't be able to tell, even with the onboard. But I'd definitely be saving up that ERS for the final run in the race so you can get around everybody. But people got alternative strategies. They want to run up front. They want to run with their teammates if they have any. And, well, it's about what's happening right now.
That's about what's happening right now. When it comes to the ERS, how much of a difference does it make to save it compared to just using the slipstream to stay in the quick pack?
If you save it, you can gain about 5 miles an hour a lap, and that's a really big advantage towards the end when everybody's wasted their ERS. If you sit in the draft and you know, kind of let off the throttle, it can really help save that ERS and make for easy runs.
In easy runs, we haven't seen a Michael Cormetis. He's been leading the way for a very good portion of this race. Nobody's been able to get around him. You think that's what's going on?
Possibly. I see the light on the back of the cars. That means they're recharging. But honestly, I don't know. These people could just be pushing constantly, and they're all using their ERS. But look on the outside. You got Joyner trying to work it. I believe he is using his ERS to keep up with the pack. Otherwise, he'd just be in the draft saving. You got some cars starting to span out, starting to get to that end of the race.
A lot of action going on in the back of the pack. It is only double file, but the contact has been intense. You think it will result in another caution?
People get desperate at the end of the race. I'm pretty sure that there will be a caution at some point at the end of this race. If not on the last lap, there will be an accident.
Last lap incidents are not uncommon at faster racetracks. Lake tracks for certain, but it is a 1.5 miles, so not a lot of room for error compared to a track like Talladega.
Oh, not at all. This track, while it's wide, it works good for open wheel cars. It is still very intense at these high speeds. Close to 200 miles an hour, over 200 miles an hour when you're in the draft, and especially when you have that ERS.
Michael Cormetis blinks out. The ERS certainly important in these machines. And with no DRS sections, everyone's just got to be strategizing how they use their energy. And that's what's going to be able to get these guys to the end of the race. Coming to 10 laps to go to complete this section of the track. It is truly the final step to victory for all of these drivers who are trying to make it work.
Yeah, I see some people starting to span out and start to get aggressive. I wouldn't doubt if we see some pushing towards the end. These cars are known to be able to push just very lightly. They might try to make a run on the outside, but we'll see.
We will see, indeed. All these drivers going to the apron right now. Looks like they're just waiting for the final few laps. Aiden Walker to the outside right there. But nobody's been able to get it done on the outside, especially those who go far, quick. You got to really time it perfectly, and nobody's been able to do that.
Yeah, it seems to me like the inside line works a little bit better for holding your position, as the ERS all depends, the deployment all depends on how much you turn. If you turn the car more tightly, when you get to the straight, the car will engage the ERS more quickly, and you will get more of a boost out of the corners.
I think the drivers are keeping that in their minds right now. They're just trying to keep the track position, make sure nobody passes them for the immediate future.
I think at this point they're just defending it. Maybe 5 to go, they'll start really trying, but they're all so close together that I don't think they're going to necessarily try anything too quickly.
As Aiden Walker goes to the outside once again, one of the most aggressive drivers in this race, 63 of 70. Very close to the end of our event, and Demos sneaking his way back on to the podium places right now as the pack gets closer and closer to being truly single file.
As they go all into the grass, they're almost crashing.
Again into
Aiden
the
Walker's
whoa,
getting
that
really
was close
aggressive.
right there. You're right about that. Aiden Walker is pushing his luck, getting almost into the grass again, getting into the bumper. And Michael Cormetis, if he's lifted on that last lap, we're going to see tempers flaring in these interviews.
No doubt about it. This is exactly what I figured would happen. People are going to start getting aggressive. There's going to be some pushing, and this is going to be a really heated final 5 laps.
Right about that. 65 of 75 laps to go for the remainder of this event to be concluded. And it's coming down to what it looks like to be the final 3 drivers remaining. That's going to be, at the moment, Cormetis, Walker, Mosteller. The podium position's got the best chance of surviving to the end of this race. Single file right now. Aiden Walker goes all the way to the inside, and he actually might be able to take the lead for the first time. Cormetis dethroned. That's Aiden Walker leading the way, and Cormetis is going to be shuffled all the way to the back.
Cormetis definitely has a chance to get back in this draft and slide towards the front. No doubt about it. I mean, this is anybody's race going into the end here. All the cars pretty equally paced, and you just got to get in that slipstream.
As we saw, you got to get into slipstream to stay with the pack, but to get the lead, you got to go to the inside, the outside, working for nobody. 4 laps remaining in this race.
A little bit of rustling. They're swerving back and forth. I don't know if that's necessarily allowed. Oh, contact.
Contact there. Cormetis going to save it, and so is Ethan Yon. The red cars, they've been up there for so long, but now it's getting desperate. 3 laps remaining. Not a lot of time to do it. You really got to be on the pedal, and you got to do it really quickly with only a few miles remaining in the race.
I'm honestly shocked we haven't seen any lost front wings on the track. People have been really pushing around here. These cars usually are very sensitive.
Aiden Walker all the way up on just one wobble. Not sure if that's going to be the end of it. We will see. Michael Cormetis back up to second from 3 laps to go to 3 miles to go. 2 laps remaining. And Cormetis trying desperately to get the lead back that he held for lap after lap.
We see Joyner trying to work the outside, waiting for people. Oh, contact. Almost through the grass.
Right about that. Cormetis is pushing his luck thoroughly all the way to the apron. And I can't believe he kept it on the track without spinning
It's going to be an intense final lap. Here we come to the white.
1 lap to go, and we got a little bit of an incident right there. It's taking out everyone but the top 3.
The top 3 survive.
It's going to be the podium for the win. Ethan Yon going to have to hold back his fire. Everyone on the apron right now. I guess it's legal on the last lap. Ethan Yon to the outside, trying not to get caught in the chaos. Side by side right now, wheel banging. Are they going to wreck each other? Ethan Yon to the inside.
Oh, they make contact.
And it's going to be Demos. Cormetis and Yon wreck. And Demos wins at Chicagoland practically by force. 87 in victory lane. And he's already stopped it. Looks like he's going to burn it down immediately. He's got Thurston there. Is he going to push Thurston to the line? Thinking he actually might.
King has to finish his final race.
Right about that. Shades of cars. 5 concurrent viewers watching the end of this race. Been an intense one, and oh, Thurston around.
Yeah, it's expected. The same thing happened to me when I was getting pushed by Demos. Car just does not like to go with 3 wheels.
Right about that. 64 laps down, and Demos your winner by 2 seconds over Aiden Walker, Michael Cormetis, the top 3 who made it through that final lap incident.
Demos is gonna burn it down here.
Burning it down as he should. The winner of this event getting to celebrate in style. This victory, unexpected. He was there in the podium, but I didn't expect him to get the first place position on the final turns due to an incident that he just escaped by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, he was easily able to come out of that. He was a lap down on the second to last restart, and managed to get his time back and just waited for the moment and took the lead.
And that's how wins are made. Demos, Walker, Cormetis, then Ethan Yon, who originally survived that incident and just couldn't make it to the line quick enough. Then Thurston Joyner, Ethan Stanley in 7th, 22 laps down. And Scott Ledbetter in last position. Only 8 cars showing up to the race, but it was a really close race, anyone's race, until the final few feet when it was assured that Demos would be the winner of the night. And he continues to burn it down. And he might just be doing it forever at this point. He is just going at it.
I'm surprised the engine hasn't gone at this point.
You're right about that. The engine might just go out soon, if it hasn't already. And it's not done yet. Look at that. The track is dark at this point. When looking at it from onboard perspective, he is ripping the track's surface all the way apart. Crazy. Now trying to roll away from it. Barely going to be able to do so. He's still celebrating. Now he's going to drive off. Going to maybe do a lap. Not sure at this point. He's been burning it down for minute after minute.
I guess he's just really having a good time celebrating.
I think that's the case.
Hopefully he can also keep this momentum going and go for that championship charge.
Right about that, the charge for him is still possible. Next week's race at Overland Park, not in Oval. We're going to see how he does there, and I think it's going to be interesting.
Sure is.
Oh,
I'm
the
hoping for a
engine.
bit of a better result than I had this week, but we'll see how good of a competition it is.
Demos' engine is out. It is over. The celebration. It is now time for interviews. And why not start with the man who won the race, number 87, Demos. You're the winner at Chicagoland. How does it feel?
I don't really know. I predicted it in my pre-race interview that passing was going to be extremely, extremely hard, and the only way you could pass was get him below the guy, and yeah, just got lucky with a few right moves, and yeah.
Yeah, it was incredibly challenging for all the drivers to pass tonight. You think if it stayed the train it was, you would have been able to get the win?
No, not at all. And yeah, I mean, I had to throw some really bad blocks. I had to, I think with 5 to go, it might have been. I kind of, with my pre-race speech, I messed up how I worded our rules, and I said we couldn't use either the front, or I said we could not go below the line, but I meant to say in the corners, and that really messed everything up. And yeah, with 5 to go, I just said, screw it, you know, we can go down there. I mean, we were struggling to pass. We were just trying to throw something out there to make the race in a better, but yeah, Mikey dominated. I actually kind of feel bad that he lost there, but
Yeah, he led most of the race's laps, but was not able to get it done at the end of the day. Do you think he'll be able to go back-to-back next week at Alton Park?
no, it's a road course, no. It's probably gonna be my only win of the season. I ain't gonna. Yeah. Yeah, it's a road course. I'm not gonna do anything special.
Well,
Yeah, it's
either
definitely
way.
more my speed.
Yeah. Either way, Demos, you won tonight's event. Thank you for your time, and we hope you do well next week.
Thank you.
Now to bring it off to our second place driver, Aiden Walker. So close, but not enough. How's it feel?
Honestly, that race, it was mostly just bomb feeding. Yeah.
Looks like all the drivers have been saying that tonight. Not able to pass. It looks like that was the situation.
It was just because with how much grip these cars have, it's just way too much to the point. And you add that ERS problem where you can't change ERS. It's just the same thing. So that kind of destroyed it too, because you could be going for a pass, then it just starts harvesting while the other driver's still on attack mode.
The ERS was very important. You think if you were able to control it fully, would have been able to get the win done?
I mean, probably if we had it on an open, we all decided to use the same setup and just had everyone turn their ERS off, so then no one could have ERS and it would be just pure oval racing and not just hoping that the car just doesn't start turning the harvesting on. So
Well, I don't think harvesting automatically is going to be much of an issue next week at Alton Park. You think you got a good shot there?
I don't know if I'll be riding that because I'm mostly just focusing on the Cup Series.
Well, we understand as Aiden Walker, number 93, finished second in today's race. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And now to the driver who dominated most of this race, Michael Cormet is coming up with the podium position. How's it feel?
I don't really feel too good about this one. I was controlling most of the race, but until Walker made that move on me, I basically had the race stolen by then. But I'm happy with a P3. I wrecked it across the line, obviously. I almost got around Demos, but tried to go around the outside, and my deployment and my ERS started harvesting. So yeah, it's pretty disappointing considering I led most of the race. Actually, no, not most of the race, almost all the laps. But I mean, I guess I'll take it. Podium finish after that. Yeah.
Right about that. A lot of laps led, but nobody was able to pass it for the most part. How did it feel being passed with only a few laps to go?
Definitely heartbreaking, considering I led like 60 plus 65, maybe 60 plus laps. I thought I had that strategy really going well there. I was the only car on medium tires, and I don't think that really made much of a difference. But softer tire is just a faster compound, so yeah, pretty heartbreaking.
Well, maybe you'll be able to get to redemption at Alton Park next week. 30 laps. Do you think you'll be able to get it done there?
I have hope every week of these races, and I guess I'll hope for next week.
Right about that, we're rounding out our podium tonight. Michael Cormet is third place. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Now that we have concluded our podium interviews, how about we bring up our results for today's event on our screen right now? And there we have it. Your results for today's event on your screen is going to be Demos leading the charge over Aiden Walker by 2 seconds. Then Michael Cormetis in third. Ethan Yon in fourth, 39 seconds off the leader. Then James Thurston and David Joyner 1 lap down following the incident on the last lap. Ethan Stanley 23 laps down following an incident very close to lap 50. And Scott Ledbetter, who parked at 65 laps before the finish, 5 laps into the race. Still a good points night for him, and only 8 drivers showed up explaining the empty holes behind our race results from 8th on back. And now we're going to be bringing home our point standings, which go as follows. David Joyner is going to be your leader following tonight's event, and he is leading it by 10 points over James Thurston, 11 over Ethan Stanley, all 3 of them winners. Highest placed winning list driver is Scott Ledbetter with 249, and Alex Anderson in 5th, who has 231, did not make today's race. Michael Cormetis 6th in points with 206, and Alexander Balderas with 196. Following that, it's Landon Gentry, Daniel Mosteller, and Chase Schaefer rounding out the top 10. Jared Rodriguez in 11th, Garrett Mitchell in 12th. Aiden Walker, rather, name is different from the standings to the iRacing points. That's an interesting situation. 13th, Timothy J. Moore in 14th, has not run a race since the second of the season. Jackson Carr in 15th, and Colby Kersey and Braden Muffick tied for 16th with 69 points, and that's going to conclude our point standings. At the moment, we're going to a completely different track. Next week, it's Alton Park, and a lot of these drivers are going to be in a lot of a different finishing position. I think that's going to how it's going to go. What do you think, Ethan Stanley?
Oh, I think it's definitely going to be a different finishing positions. It's a lot more difficult of a track. It's very narrow, very fast, very high downforce track. It's going to be a challenge for the drivers just to keep it on the island.
Right about that, compared to the oval, it's not going to be any pack racing at all. So I think it's going to be a big difference.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if drivers can get overtakes done. There are somewhat wide parts of the track. It's just not many braking zones, so it's going to be rough.
Right about that, very little room for error next week at the IRA Alton Park Grand Prix in the Formula One Series. And tomorrow it's going to be Cup Series racing from Auto Club. We hope to see you there on the next live stream. We thank all the viewers that came out tonight to support the Formula One Series. We hope to see you whenever we stream next. And that's going to be tomorrow. And of course, we're going to have many more streams coming thereafter. Thank you for the support watching this broadcast. We thank you once again for stopping by. Fireball Talks NASCAR live, and we are going to be seeing you whenever we stream next. Thank you for the support.